downstairs. Do you know what she did? You know what that girl did.
Hey guys, what is going on? And welcome back to my Halloween Horror Reviews 2020. And man, I cannot believe that tomorrow is already Halloween. It kind of bums me out that these are my final two reviews because I have had a great time talking nothing but horror flicks with you guys. But for my final two reviews this month, I'm going to be talking to you guys about two particular slasher flicks. But for this particular movie, this was a movie that not only influenced slasher movies to come, but it was a big influence on one of the greatest horror films, period, and that is the original Halloween. So, for today's horror review, I'm going to be talking to you guys about the 1974 Canadian slasher movie classic, Black Christmas. Not either of the remakes, which I haven't seen, the original movie itself. So when it comes to the plot of Black Christmas, this is all that you really have to know. A crazy guy, well, crazy is an understatement when it comes to this guy. This crazy guy breaks into a sorority house, and throughout the film, he is calling these girls, and every time one of these girls picks up the phone, let's just say the calls that they get are very unsettling, ranging from just random moaning sounds to this guy just talking in this crazy type of thing, whatever he's doing. And as y'all can imagine, one by one, each of the girls go through some very unfortunate circumstances. Alrighty guys, so let's get into Black Christmas. When it comes to the original Black Christmas, this was a movie that before I had seen it, believe it or not, for the first time this year, I had always wanted to see Black Christmas for one particular reason. I might be called messed up for this, but I don't know why I have always liked this connection, but I have always liked the connection of having a horror flick set either on or near Christmas. Just something about it just kind of gets to me. I don't know why. Fun fact, every Christmas Eve, I watch a horror flick. Yes, that actually happens. Like a couple of years ago, I rewatched Gerald's Game. Last year, I rewatched Anne and the Apocalypse. And this year, I actually might rewatch Black Christmas, this movie, because I gotta tell you all right now, Black Christmas, this movie is just absolutely terrific in almost every way possible. Black Christmas, if you guys haven't seen it and if you love slasher flicks, you need to see this movie, because if you haven't seen this movie, and if you have seen other slasher flicks, in particular with Halloween, you guys will see, I guarantee that in other slasher movies that you have seen, you will feel the influence that Black Christmas has had over every other slasher flick, particularly with Halloween, in particular with the POV shot of the killer. Getting right into the performances, everybody in this movie is very, very good. I really liked Olivia Hussey as Jess, who is essentially the main character who is going through the subplot of her being pregnant with her boyfriend, who is kind of emotionally unstable. If I gotta talk about performances though, there are two in particular that I absolutely love. One of them being Margot Kidder as Barb. Yes, Lois Lane herself is in this movie. It is really cool seeing her not portraying the goody two-shoes known as Lois Lane, but instead being kind of a bitch, but she's the kind of bitch that you love. You do kind of hate her because she says some really bad things in this movie, but at the same time, you know that she does care for her sorority sisters. Besides Margot Kidder, the one performance that I need to talk about, and I have such a fun time watching this person on screen in this movie, and that is Mariana Waldman, who plays as Mrs. Mack. Oh my god, I fucking love her. Now, the reason why I love her in particular is because my friend Sarah and I call her the alcohol lady, because literally, in every single room of this sorority house, she always has a bottle of alcohol stashed somewhere. Like in particular, she'll go to a bathroom, and if she looks in the top of a toilet, guess what she finds? Alcohol. This girl is constantly drunk all the time, but she's not the type of drunk that's annoying. She's the type of drunk that you're just like, oh, here comes another one, take a shot. They're the kind of drunk people that you have fun watching. One performance in particular, and I do apologize if I butcher your name, sir, but Keir Dolia, I think that's how I pronounce his name, who plays as Peter, the boyfriend of the main character. This man is really, really good at playing this really kind-hearted person that has goals, but at the same time, you get just under his skin just the right way. He seems like he could be this crazy guy. Also, John Saxon, to which, by the way, if you haven't seen Nightmare on Elm Street, little fun fact for y'all, he plays a cop not only in Black Christmas, but also Nancy's father in Nightmare on Elm Street as a cop. I thought that was a really cool connection. But there are two people in particular that I have to praise, only because they played the same person, and that is the killer. The killer is portrayed by two people. One of them is director Bob Clark, who portrays one of the voices on the phone, because if you listen very closely to the phone calls, you can hear multiple different voices. One of them is Bob Clark. Nick Mancuso essentially plays the killer that we see only a little bit of, and every time I hear that damn voice on the phone, it just gets under my skin and it gives me goosebumps every time. Now, one particular thing that I absolutely love about the original Black Christmas, amongst many other things, is that when it comes to the characters, now, do not get me wrong, the characters don't really have the most character development. I mean, you do get to know them enough to grow attached to them and be fearful for them when things start happening to them. Even though they don't have the most character development, something that I absolutely love about the characters and the acting in this movie is that the girls in this movie are not idiots. Now, the girls aren't particularly smart per se, but one thing that you'll notice as you're watching this movie is that they have good intuition and they're all very, very clever when it comes to how they're trying to see who the hell is killing off her friends. One particular thing that I absolutely love about Black Christmas when it comes to the scares is that I want to say about 95% of it, this movie has really no blood. I mean, there are maybe 3 scenes where it has blood, but otherwise, this is a pretty bloodless movie. Less is more. Now, do I think this movie could have gone for a bit more gore? Probably so, yes, but at the same time, how this movie is able to do the kills still look fucking painful and grisly. One particular when Mrs. Mack goes up into the attic and you see that hook going right into her mouth, even though you really don't see it, but you hear the sound effects. I mean, oh my God. One of my favorite sequences in this movie, not just in this movie, but in a horror movie in general, spoiler by the way, but it involves Margot Kidder. It's about 50 minutes into this movie, and Olivia Hussey sees that Margot Kidder has had a nightmare, and then they start hearing Christmas Carol singers. And then when she goes out to go see them, the killer goes into Margot Kidder's room, and he stabs her to death. And this sequence has some of the best editing and sound mixing I have ever seen. I don't know what it is, but the combination of seeing the killer taking essentially, it's not really quite an ice pick, but it looks like it kind of breaks off of one of Margot Kidder's ornaments. But breaking that off, along with the combination of the singing, something about that is not only just scary as all hell, but it is just unsettling to the core, to say the least. When it comes to where the killer himself is, this killer could be around in this house at any given point listening to any of the conversations. Another thing that I absolutely love about Black Christmas, besides it being a great slasher flick that you can watch on Christmas, Black Christmas, but this is also a terrific whodunit. And let me tell you guys right now, when I saw this movie for the first time with my buddy Sarah, I was constantly guessing who in the hell is the killer. I could have never have guessed when I saw this movie for the first time who the killer was. I had maybe 3 ideas who the killer was. I was wrong on every single occasion. But then when you find out who the killer actually is, it is actually really fucking terrifying, to which I will get into in a little bit, do not worry. But this is a slasher movie that has some really funny moments that bring out amazing levity, especially when we need it, because this is a pretty dark movie. And this is not just from Barb and Mrs. Mack, even though those two have some of the biggest laughs of the movie. There is a scene in this movie that involves Barb and a cop, and she's trying to help him out with the investigation. Barb brings up the word fellatio. And a couple of scenes later, this one word leads to one of the funniest scenes, if not the funniest scene in this movie. Something else that I did not realize until I was told this a couple of days ago, but get this, guys, this blew my mind. So Bob Clark not only directed Black Christmas, he also directed A Christmas Story. Just think about that. Bob Clark not only directed one of the most unsettling slasher and also one of the best whodunit movies, but he also directed one of the best, one of the funniest, and one of the most joyful Christmas movies ever made. Think about that. I love the musical score in this movie. Now, to be fair, there isn't much of a score in this movie. There's a little theme that plays throughout the film and how it combines the piano. It just, oh my god. Before I go on, I just want to let you all know right now that from here on out, I'm going to be talking about spoilers. What I'm going to be talking about in the next couple of moments, if you ask me, is not only one of the best endings in a horror film, but also one of the most chilling endings. Here's your warning, here we go. In the final 10 minutes of Black Christmas, it turns out that the killer is calling them within their home. So Jess, our main character, goes upstairs and not only finds the two bodies of her dead friends, but also sees the eye of the killer. She acts in defense, runs down, the killer chases her, and she locks herself in the basement with, I think it's a poker stick? She is hiding and pretty, understandably scared shitless. And it turns out that there is somebody outside the basement, her boyfriend, Peter, who breaks in the house. And now here is the thing. Now, keep in mind this, guys. Jess did not see the killer, only his eye. And she may think that her boyfriend is the killer, so what does she do? Probably in self-defense, she kills her boyfriend, Peter. The cops arrive on scene. The doctor on scene, I think, gives her some medication to give her some sleep. They leave the house because they want to give her some rest. All the lights are turned off, and the camera slowly pans to the right. You see all the rooms where all the killings took place. And then, what do we hear? Some noises and laughs. What is the ending to this movie, guys? They think they got the killer, Peter. They think that he was the killer. The killer is still in the house. But my buddy and I were watching this movie for the first time a couple of months ago, and we heard the laughs. Both of us were like, no! The ending to this film is just, it's chilling and it's disturbing and I fucking love it. You guys may think that I have no issues with Black Christmas. There is one tiny issue that does bug me about this movie, and I am almost able to forgive it because this movie is just so damn excellent. Near the end of the movie, the cops have said, along with the girls throughout the movie, they have checked every single room in this house. But they never check the fucking attic! The only person who actually checks the attic is Mrs. Mack when she hears her cat upstairs, but otherwise, at no point do any of these girls, nor do the cops, search in the attic where the killer actually is. And that's kept on thinking, check the fucking attic! So overall, when it comes to the original Black Christmas, this movie is just a classic in every sense of the word. And not only is it a terrific slasher movie that you can watch on Christmas, but it is also a terrific whodunit thriller. I don't know what to say other than that Black Christmas is a phenomenal movie that has good performances, suspenseful direction throughout, some inventive kills, the editing is amazing, and the unnerving score with one of the best and one of the most disturbing endings you will probably see in a slasher flick ever. All in all, guys, I am going to give Black Christmas a 4.75 out of 5 stars. This is a bona fide classic in terms of the slasher genre and in terms of the whodunit thriller. Guys, watch this movie. Alrighty, guys, so comment down, let me know below. What is your favorite horror film that takes place in or around Christmas? Let me know below. If you guys want to follow me on social media, I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch. I'm also on Snapchat and Stardust still. If you guys want to follow me on all those social media platforms, all the links and the usernames are in the description below. I hope you guys enjoyed my review of the original Black Christmas. If so, please hit that like button, also subscribe, and don't forget to hit that notification bell for whenever the latest video of mine goes live. If you guys want to see any of my previous 2 videos, please click either right there or there. And of course, until my next review, I'll see you guys next time. See you on Halloween, guys.